Episode 69 with Sam Mchale, Matt Kwan, Kent Peters, Stuart Cooper. Let's do it. Cheers, John Foster. Welcome to episode 69 in a monotone voice.
Cheers, brother. A little vitamin O to get us started.
That's right. Cheers to Bogside Brewing, our new sponsor. They have no idea who the hell we are, but they're going to be.
Olin's is going to be a sponsor too, I'm hoping.
Yeah, fingers crossed. You know what? Growing up, you know what I always heard about Olin's? I heard it was the dirty leftover Keith's.
Yeah, it probably is, bro.
Yeah, it tastes like syrup to me, man. That's what it tastes like.
It's got a taste to it for sure. There's some beers I just don't drink, but I don't know, man. I got into the Olin's since I've been in Nova Scotia, basically. And if I'm doing sets, I have a couple Olin's before I go on. And
gotta get you into the schooner, man. Switch it up.
Yeah,
switch it up.
Good.
Yeah,
hey, man, I drink lots of water. Don't worry.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Shout out to Doctor. I don't know what your name is for getting all those kidney stones out of me, but that's a whole other podcast. Again, thanks to our sponsors there, Privateer Harley Davidson. They've been supporting us for a long time. Check them out there in Halifax, the only East Coast dealership, privateerharleydavidson.com. Tell them we sent you and get 0 discount, but you'll get a smile, maybe a hug. Who knows? Yeah. Anyway, we got a hell of an episode here, John. 3 talented individuals. I'm not sure if the 4th guy is going to be able to join us or not, but 3 really talented individuals in the jiu-jitsu and / MMA community from all over North America. The first guy, let's bring him up here. He's a guy who's competed in a ton of different events. He's located out in BC. Black belts, On Guard Jiu-Jitsu is his club. He's competed. He actually won an event we did out in Edmonton called West Coast Chokes. He has a podcast. He's a really kind of innovative guy when it comes to jiu-jitsu and owns a club and just a great dad and an all-around good guy. So let's welcome on Matt Kwan.
Let's do it.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
That was a hell of an intro. I really appreciate that.
It's true, man. It's true. You know, it's important. You know, a good dad. It's to me, and actually, it's funny. All 3 of you guys on here tonight are dads, and you're all great dads. I follow you all on your social media, and you're all very involved in your kids' lives, and that's really important, man, and especially now more than ever. So thanks for joining us.
No, my pleasure. Thanks so much. Yeah, being a dad is super important, so glad that we can all get together and relate in that regard.
Yeah, it's true, man. It's true.
Absolutely,
all right,
man.
Well, let's bring in the second guest here. We're going to join us. He's a guy here. He's becoming kind of quite the legend himself here in the jiu-jitsu scene. Breakdowns. He's not only his breakdowns, his gear, brand's Supernatural Survival gear is doing extremely well. A lot of athletes rep it and speak really, really highly about it. And the service is good. His breakdowns are incredible. So the man behind all this stuff, super happy to have him on, a guy from the Nova Scotia area and the black belt behind Zombieproof Jiu-Jitsu, Mr. Kent Peters. How are you, sir?
Hey, guys.
There he is.
Hey, bud.
Long time no see. Cheers, Kent.
Yeah, really. Cheers.
In the Supernatural
I didn't know I was
Survivor.
supposed to bring a beer downstairs. I would have. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, does everyone have one? I guess they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I had steak for supper. I had to have a beer.
Well, Sam was joining us. He was just there a second ago. Sam Mchale is about to join us here. He's a purple belt out of Tai Chi martial arts in New York. He's competed again on a ton of events. Rise, Art of War, Kasai Undercard, just tons of different events. But he's not here for me to bring him in. Oh, there he is. He's just joined us. So he's got to connect his mic and cam. He's obviously never been a cam girl before because he doesn't know what he's doing very well. Any tips? Oh, there he comes. Mr. Sam Mchale. Can we get him in? 3, 2, 1. We're having some issues with him. Anyway, boys, thanks so much for joining us. Why don't you introduce yourself? Kent, we'll start with you. You know, you're the local guy from the East Coast. We'll go east to west. You've been involved in this game for a hell of a long time, competing and, now running your brand, running your school for a long time. What got you into it, man? I know you started a lot on your own when you got into it.
Yeah, I accidentally called a traditional Japanese jiu-jitsu school, and I asked if they did UFC, and they said yes. So I learned a shit ton of wrist locks, and then I'm not sure when I made the jump. I think a few of my buddies were like actually practicing grappling, and they called me to come over to their place and roll. And I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna school all these guys with all my wrist locks and shit." And I remember I got fucking can openered on carpet, and I was like, "I will never go back to this wrist lock." Fuck.
Oh,
that was the first time I ever thought I was truly gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I got a pretty.
And then I joined
10 years
judo
ago.
because fuck, dude, they're the worst.
Yeah.
And it's so simple, like shrimp your hips out, right? But I had no idea because all I was learning was wrist locks. So lesson learned.
I love it that you were there long enough to learn something before you realized you were in the wrong martial art.
Yeah, I took them with me though. I'm still wrist locking everybody. It's fun.
Oh yeah.
I guess it's
like
stayed
a greasy
with me,
wrist
right?
lock. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
They work.
They do.
Man,
Yeah.
nothing gets a fucking chuckle better than a wrist lock either. If anyone wrist locks me or I try one on someone, we're just laughing our heads off.
They can really hurt.
Jesus Christ, yes.
Let's see. I'm not sure we can get Sam in here. We're having a little issue here, Sam. Sam, can you hear us?
Hello. No, I can hear him now.
We can hear you, but we can't see it, Sam. That's all right, buddy.
Do I have video? All right, I'm trying to put it on. I don't know why it's not connecting.
That's all right, Matt.
Well, you guys.
Yeah. Well, there's Sam Mchale, folks, on your left. Looking good, Sam. It's you have to let it. For some reason, it's not letting you access your camera. But anyway, Matt, why don't you get into telling us about you, man? Like, again, you've been involved in this game. It's probably something similar to Kent, man. Like, we all kind of had that similar story.
Yeah, so I started training probably around 2009, 2010. And yeah, just from the first day, I fell in love with it. I actually, before I got into jiu-jitsu, I was playing a lot of hockey. And I never really wrestled too much in high school. I did wrestle in middle school. Because I thought I was fucking really enjoying pro wrestling at the time, and so that inspired me to do some kind of grappling. And then I got away from it, and then after high school, I took a jiu-jitsu class, and it was just like loved it because I had never been a natural athlete or anything, and it clicked with me on some level where I felt like, I might be actually decent at this. And then put in some years, started doing competitions, and a couple of years go by, I switched teams. And then, when I got my brown belt, I left and started On Guard about 5 years ago and never looked back. So it's been really amazing. And of course, now I got the podcast, BJJ Mental Models, with my brother Steve, who's also a black belt. And just loving the dad life. Honestly, it's the best thing I got going for me.
Cool. Deadly, man. That's cool. You got a brother that trains as well. I have my younger brother's 12 years younger than me, and he's a purple belt now. So he's been basically training with me, under me, and helping me run the clubs since he got out of high school. So it's been pretty cool.
Oh, that's good. Does he want to do that full time, do you think?
He's definitely has no interest in stopping. I mean, he's also become quite a good barber over the last couple of years, and has his own aspirations in that sense. But I think he'll be at the jiu-jitsu gym teaching, and I know he wants to teach boxing as well. So man,
very cool.
Shout out to Nate the Barber. We got Sam Mchale joining us here, folks. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for your patience, Sam. Again, Sam, he's a purple belt down from Tai Chi Martial Arts in New York. I believe 3-3 as an amateur flyweight. Competed in a lot of different promotions now, Sam. I've known you for a lot of years, much like Kent and Matt and John. Everybody on this panel has been involved in this game for a hell of a long time. You've competed at a lot of these events. What got you into it, man?
So I actually worked at a comic book shop.
Nice.
Across from a gym. And I wrestled for 2 years in junior high, so I was familiar with, jiu-jitsu and MMA and stuff. I had an interest in it, from that. I had always wanted to try it, and I was in my 20s. That was actually 7 years ago, almost 7 years ago now. I walked into the gym for the very first time, tried my first martial art. I ended up taking an MMA fight, like a little less than 2 months later.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got lucky. I didn't get thrown in there with like a killer or something. I got lucky. I won my first fight, and I was like hooked. So focusing on more than just like wrestling for striking position and doing submissions, both defense and offense. Obviously, so I like started training in the gi and doing bits and focus on that primarily, pretty much for like few years after I'd come back to training, and competed a bunch in sub only. Started training down at Henzo's for a little bit through the GGL events.
Yeah.
After I got where I felt I was much more comfortable in jiu-jitsu and where I wasn't just baffled in every position, you know, I didn't suck as bad as I did before, at least. I was like trying my hand again. Had a bunch of fights fall through for almost a year. And then I finally ended up catching an opportunity to fight for Cage Wars flyweight title. And I fought their guy like 3 or 4-0, I think, 3-0. And I ended up beating him. I dominated him pretty much the entire fight. And I was like, okay. And it was jiu-jitsu and wrestling, essentially, that really did it for me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I feel much more comfortable in competing in MMA now. And I took a kickboxing fight after that, just kind of for fun. It was supposed to be an MMA fight, and like 2 weeks out, my guy backed out, and they're like, oh, well, we got some guy from New York who was going to fight on a title for a kickboxing fight. I was like, fuck it, whatever. And
yeah, just do it.
Yeah, and first round, I was like, okay, so hopefully that shows I can at least stand, and now I can play on the ground too. You know, I'm not just
well, that's it, man. Like, martial arts is a well-rounded thing, but I think like for all of you three guys, you use your platforms extremely well. Obviously, Kent, you know, for you, that is a huge thing that kind of took off really in like the last probably like 5 years, I guess, maybe like you started doing all this kind of stuff. But you all like use these platforms with your podcast, whether you promote, you're involved online or whatever it is, you all use it really, really well. What, like, I guess, like, why do you do it? Or like, and you all do it a little bit differently, but successfully. Like, what motivates you to do it?
Making money. I guess it's
brother.
like for me.
Sorry, go ahead, bro.
Sorry. When I started my business, I was basically just like, how do I get noticed? How do I get matches? How do I get more people in the door? And as much as I dislike social media, it's an extremely useful tool, especially for anyone starting a club or anyone trying to get sponsors or get noticed. So I think if you're a business owner, like a martial arts gym owner, and you're not using social media, you're missing out on just free marketing. But of course, there is that ugly side of social media where you can kind of get sucked in and piss people off, and you know, people act like they want your opinion, but they actually don't want it. So I like to quote Keenan. He says it's a self-promoting tool. It's not like a public debating tool, really, because you lose all that the body language and the tone and the nuance that's involved in an actual conversation.
Not a lot of productivity that comes from arguing online.
No, none at all.
Like, Ken, you must deal with that steady, man. Like when you're upwards of your numbers, like there's a lot of people talking shit. Well, I'm always interested about breakdowns, man, because I can't follow it. Like I cannot, like I'll just share your post and I'll like it, but I can't follow it. I can't, even if it's broke down even slower, I can't follow it. So
breakdowns are actually my favorite because I learn more from the breakdowns from when I make mistakes. Well, like it's two things on it. Like when I do the breakdown, because I had to teach myself jujitsu, right? Like I didn't have a coach. So I've been doing breakdowns forever anyway. And that's why, like, I've never been like a great competitor because I don't have that in me. I like the learning. I like the aspect of it. But when I post a breakdown and I'm like, this is exactly what happened, I get called out by fucking everybody. And it's great because then they tell me the shit I missed. But if I was just like, hey guys, here's a breakdown, can you tell me the shit I missed? Be fucking crickets, right? But when I just post it and I'm like, this is exactly what happened. Fuck. Well, you missed this, and you missed this, and you missed this. I'm like, fuck. Thanks, guys. That's great.
So true. Genius.
I don't care. Like, I try not to sound like a dick when I say this, but I don't really give a fuck about any of these people, like these people's opinions, right? Like, they're all a bunch of fuck. If you're willing to say negative shit online, you're an asshole I wouldn't hang out with. You know what I mean, right? Like, I don't say any negative shit online. I don't have time for it. I'm too busy trying to make money. So if you're willing to shit on me online, I
You
might
got
fuck
too
with you a
much
little
time.
bit. Like I have a little bit of Gordon Ryan, but I don't care enough, right?
Yeah, it's not worth it. How about you, Johnny?
Social media, you know how good I am at that, man.
He absolutely
Yeah.
hates it.
I do. I mean,
Me too,
I
man.
appreciate
I
the
hate it too.
usefulness of it, but you know, it's one of those things. Like if I'm doing 50 things, and that's going to be number 51.
It's a lot of work.
It's a ton of work. Like, thankfully, you run it with FLA because you're super active with it. Like I
now.
I have my audience with my
Hate
gyms,
it.
but it's yeah, I have my audience with my gyms, but we basically use it. We're not promoting all the time. Like we put things out every now and then, and you know, the staff at Motive put things out, but it's mostly just a tool for me to be like, this is what's up. You know, we're closed for COVID. We're open back up. This is what's going on this weekend. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's more of like a conversation rather than me pushing stuff. But we've done things like we posted a bunch of full classes. We do a live class for an hour and a half on Facebook, and then leave it up there. So we've you know have put up lots of content. I mean, there's a ton of YouTube videos that I've done over the years.
Yeah.
I'm just not diligent with it. It's been a long time. But
You suck at it, is what you're
all
trying to
this
say.
stuff, yeah, man. I think I got like 1 million views in one of my videos now.
Oh,
But,
now he pulls it out at the end. You see that in a roundabout way. He's like, I really suck at this. I really suck, but I got 1 million views.
But
Look,
That's a
guys.
good video, though.
you know how I
watched
got that? Because I'm sure you saw it at some point because Hiles is in it, right? So,
Yeah.
but the reason we got that much traffic is like you're saying when you kind of you put it out there, like, yeah, this is exactly how it's done. Say something.
Yep.
I put it. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the most effective martial art on the planet, and that's what I call my video. And then everyone's like, no, it's not. If you do this, and if you're falling glass, and if you get kicked in the head while you're, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I'm
It's
like,
all
yeah,
traffic though.
perfect. I've
Oh,
never
yeah.
responded to anything, and it's like 1 million views. So
I like posting my controversial shit on Reddit because everybody on Reddit fucking hates me, right? So I just post it on there and then I just let them all shit on me.
all traffic's traffic, right?
Yeah, that's a community
I
I
don't
never
care.
ever go near ever, but it's such a huge community, man. What about you, Sam?
I won a fucking argument on Reddit before, and that's like I've never heard anybody
I didn't
who's
think
won an
that was a
argument.
thing.
Dude,
Yeah.
listen, this guy started calling me out saying like shit like this wouldn't work on a fucking blue belt at my gym. That's the worst technique I ever seen. And he posted like a whole bunch of shit. Like he had a bunch of time on his hands. So I just commented like, you don't like me at all, do you? And he was like, it's not that I don't like you. I don't like you're teaching shit to, you know, like, so I was like, all right, I'm going to spend
Don't
5
follow
minutes.
me.
No, dude, I went and I read all of his old posts until I found him mention someone's name, right? And he was like, yeah, I competed against Sebastian Broche in Dream. So I looked it up and there was only 3 guys that compete. That's the Yoga for BJJ guy.
Yeah,
So there was only 3 guys that competed against him in this event. And I found all 3 of their names. And then I creeped all 3 of them on Facebook and Instagram. And then I just made a guess. And I was like, it's all right, George. I'm sure we'd be friends in the real world. And he deleted all his fucking comments. I guess.
Yeah.
So it was worth your 2 weeks.
It
of
was fucking
FBI
fantastic. Yeah.
investigation.
I'll have that story forever. I was Magnum motherfucking PI. It was great.
It's true though, man. There's a lot of shit that people, a lot of shit talk goes on, and people don't realize the shit that they put out there in the beginning, man. Like, how about you, Sam? For you, man. Obviously, you've been on the promotion side with the GGL and helping other promoters do events, and you've been like, it's a small circle, you know. Kent, you know, is like Matt, like on more so on the East Coast with LeDuc and Whacker and yourself, and then Jason Rao and everybody. It's a really small circle there, man. Like, how'd you like? What about social media for you? Do you still use it a lot, or?
Literally the entirety of the GGL was formed off of social media. I remember talking to you about it in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, you helped me so much more than you even know in the very beginning.
Oh, cool, nice, man. Good, I'm glad to hear that.
A few guys gave me a hand with the matchups and stuff, and kind of introduced me to the right people, and kind of spiderwebbed from there, and that also in turn got me a bunch of matches that I totally used that networking, you know, to my advantage, and got a bunch of matches and started competing in a lot of these shows with these guys that, you know, were trying to get on my show, you know, trying to put it out there that I'm not just, you know, promoter, and you know, and that's when the social media stuff kind of came in too for me myself. You know, I was like, all right, I was late to the party with social media. I haven't had the stuff for all that long, but I've been really trying. I try my best to be consistent with it, especially if I have an event coming on, because really when it comes to like the pay-per-view stuff and getting it out there, like the YouTube, the videos and stuff like that, getting traffic to your event, it's all done on social media now.
Yeah, it
So
really is, man.
mouth nowadays, and obviously with a community like ours, it's such a small community that you have to have something a little bit bigger and more consistent. So social media literally was. Yeah.
Everyone should just pay Kent to run their social media.
Eventually, that's hopefully going to be my job. I don't like hard work. Like, I actually fucking hate anything manual labor. And you know, like, say what you will, but I only want to wrestle. I only want to do jujitsu.
Sure.
I don't want to fucking shovel. I don't want to go out and do any hard work. So if I can keep making money off selling gear and shit, dude, I'm a pussy. Like, I'm an actual pussy. I did construction for like 2 months, and I was like, I will never swing a fucking hammer ever again.
Yeah. I'm always blowing off work to build something.
Yeah, I like that manual.
I'm the opposite. Yeah, I do too.
I
man.
can't stand it, man. I can't stand it because I can sit on my phone and I hustle. I message people who bought gear before. I'll message people who's looked at my site. Like, because the internet, man, you can see people who abandon checkouts and everything, right? So I'm like a fucking stalker, really. But I'll hustle online and I'll make a good chunk of money a day. But if I have to go sit in a dump truck or something, I'm not going to be able to make that money. And just for me, like, I figured out how to make social media work for me, right? So,
well, hustle, man, grind, a lot of hard work.
Yeah,
it is, man.
It's about figuring out what your time's worth too, man. So you start doing shit like teaching privates and shit like that. So I roofed for a decade. I made decent money roofing, right?
Oh, your poor back.
Yo, my neck, knees. Dude, my posture, like, I'm all fucked up. But it's totally because of that. But yeah, man, fucking with the hard work and the labor and shit like that, you do that for long enough. Now you start. And it's all right money, but you start teaching privates, you teach some seminars and shit. You're like, fuck, in an hour what if I just put all my focus into this?
Sure.
I don't want to ever. Now the only time I'd like, I've been fucking cutting trees down all day. And I've been cutting trees down all day. and I do that at my house for me. And, I don't want to fucking go do that anywhere else. Like, long enough, you know.
Well, that's why you got to keep competing, and it brings me to my next question about. And John, you know, like John, I guess you can start. Well, no, you. Fuck, I don't know what I'm trying.
I can't read your mind, brother. I don't know where you're going with
Matt
this.
Kwan, like competing at a high level, man. All of you guys have competed at high levels in events and stuff. Like, win or lose for both, like, you guys don't care. You continue on. You're good ambassadors of the sport. Like, is that something that you focus on, Matt? Like, I know you're a vicious competitor, man. Like, when you competed for me and you won our event, you were an absolute savage. Like, took out Tarantini there too. Like,
yeah, he's good.
Like, but you were better that day. You know, what's it for you, man? Like.
What's what for me? Like, what's my
like competing at the high level? Like, what's like? Is it to take home the accolades, or is it for your school? Is it for your personal growth? Is it for obviously it ain't for money? It's for all of those reasons. Money being the last one, because you're not, unless you're Gordon Ryan, probably not making too much money winning jiu-jitsu tournaments. After that, and after that, it'd probably be like the accolades. Like, that's probably the second to last reason why I do it, because I mean, like, locally I'm pretty good, but on the world stage, like, I look at guys in the lightweight division that I would be against at like the highest level, like ADCC. You got Gordon Ryan, Gary Tonin and Lucas Lepre and all these. So, like, who am I to them? I'm just I'm a decent competitor from Western Canada. I love to train and learn and teach. And every time I go out and compete, like, I work hard and I train hard, but I'm really doing it, like you said, for my own growth and also for my business. So my business, every time I go out and compete, I mean, it's a fun trip with the boys, but also it's, again, like social media, it's just a form of marketing. And you throw that up there, and it's crazy how many leads you just get because people see you competing. So, I like to test myself as well and see how I do against
see how I do against guys at the higher levels.
Sure.
I still think I got some years at adult black belt before I am forced to do masters. But so far I haven't gotten any IBJJF gold at black belt. So I don't know, keep grinding at it and keep trying to refine myself and, keep signing up for these tournaments whenever they do resume again. How old am I?
Yeah.
I'm 32.
Okay.
Not young. Not old, but not young, like I'm kind of just like going over my peak now.
Yeah.
So I think I got a few good years of prime left. And then, but all these kids nowadays are like your 20-year-old black belts that are just unreal. How can I, you gotta go out there and do your best.
Yeah.
Hard to keep up with. I just turned 30. I gotta when I'm rolling even with these blue belts, other purple belts and shit. These kids are 20 years old with wrestling backgrounds and oh man, just keep up.
Yeah, no. There's something to be said about youth, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Ken, you got man. I have a lot of love for that student of yours up there, Drake Farrell, man.
Drake,
he's a kid that you brought up for a lot. Yeah, fuck Drake. Everybody says that. It's bad because when he was like 14, like it's scary though. You look at him now, like he's filled out and become a man.
Well, he weighs more than me now. He's taller than me, and when we roll, it's like I hate it. I love it, but I hate it because like a lot of my other students, like it's hard because Drake has been getting taps on me for a long time, and he just recently got his brown belt, which is nice because it feels better than getting killed by a fucking purple. But no offense, Sam. But dude, he's just like he doesn't stop, he doesn't slow down, he doesn't get tired. So when I'm doing 3, 5, 7 minutes with him, like I'm pretty fucking tired. I'm 37. I'm not healing well. I don't sleep well, and he's just putting it on me, and it's like. He brings the best out of my game, but like I'm only beating him with footlocks now. Like I don't remember the last, or no, I got him with an armbar recently, but that was it. Like mostly it's just like I'm cheating and getting him with ankle locks, right? So fuck that guy, man. He's so good.
Yeah, do you guys have that problem too, Sam and Matt? John, you have that problem for sure.
With my lower belts beating me?
No, just like with young kids, like real kids coming up that are just badass kids.
I do have that problem. I'm also 37. I'm basically just been on the injury list for about 4 years fucking straight. So, yeah, with me, man, I get back at it and, a little bit rusty and you get caught in something. Then you got, a few weeks of getting back into the groove of things, getting your rhythm, and then I'm hurt again. So that's been what it's been like for the last literally years. Like I would love to get back to competing at least a couple more times before I'm done. But it hasn't even been possible. Like I can still barely kneel down on the floor now without my knee popping out. So it's been.
I just got.
It's just
I got spinal injections. Have you ever got any injections or anything, dude? I got
cortisone.
I got 4 needles in my spine and one from my meniscus is partially torn.
Yeah.
I haven't felt any pain in my meniscus since I got the shot in February. And I have sciatica in both legs and a bunch of other. I have 3 bulging discs. Dude, I'm fucking inverting and shit. Man, no, I'm fucking healed. Like I got all these steroids in my spine.
Yeah,
and I'm like
cortisone shots.
Yeah,
but those eventually stop working though.
I've had those in my knees.
I got my first ones.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it. I got my first one in February and it just wore off like 2 weeks ago, and I just got another one 2 weeks ago. And I'm like,
I've had it.
Dude, I'm healed. I'm like fucking 17 again.
Oh my God. See, I ended up having surgery on my right knee last February. They took the meniscus out. And then it wasn't long after that, the meniscus started getting caught in the joint of my left knee. So that's what I've been dealing with. So I'm trying to rehab it. And then they took away all the elective surgeries and stuff for COVID.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've been doing like knees over toes squats and things like that. I don't know if you've ever seen these, but trying to rebuild my legs, and it's gotten a lot better. Like I can get to the floor and get back up, but if I do, there's a way. See, the way I do my double leg, I can't shoot a double. This is what caused my problem. I was like, I haven't wrestled in fucking 2 years. My neck's been too bad. My neck's pretty good now. So I shoot one double on Levi. I get under him, and my fucking left knee pops, and the meniscus is stuck in the joint, and it's happened all the time since, right? So it's
Did
like
it lock?
Yeah, it locks, so I can't straighten it out. So I got to like get it to click back out. I'm getting good at getting it back in now too, but it's like it's just one thing after another, after another, after another. So I don't know, man. I think like stem cells or fucking whatever. If there was someone that was like, yeah, we'll inject this with you and it's gonna hurt like hell for fucking a week and then it'll be good, I'd be like, let's do it. Should have pulled guard. Yeah, fuck that, bro. I'm all those takedowns. I gotta lay on my back and get kicked in the fucking head.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I just had I had a meniscus surgery. I think it was last year. Fuck, this year feels so weird.
They're
just thinking
horrible,
about like
man.
time.
Fucking
Yeah,
knees
like
are
I
brutal.
had an old meniscus issue, and it was fine for years, and then it actually happened. It got kind of re-aggravated in a tournament. I got caught in a knee bar, and I twisted, and I actually got out and managed to win the match, and it felt okay. And then the next match, I just was on my knee, and I shifted, and it just like totally locked in a 90-degree angle for like a week, and then it finally started to come undone. And then there was if anyone's ever had like meniscus injury, it's like it feels better, and then you feel like you're getting better. You're doing the physio, and then you get 2 steps taken back, and then you keep working it. It starts to loosen up again, and then it locks again, just with like the smallest movements. So I think for those people that are wondering, like if people have meniscus injuries in their knees and they're thinking, oh well, I don't know if I want to get the surgery because it might take time off of my future, and once you take out the meniscus, it's like ripping pages out of a book, and I don't know, maybe I can just physio it back into play. And I think the best thing to do is, if your knee is locking, like, you probably need a surgery. If it's just like a little tweak but you still have your full range of motion, I think you could probably get away with that. But once it starts locking in that 90-degree angle for like a whole week at a time, man, like, I got it cleaned, and it's I've been doing physio almost every day with it, but like, it feels amazing now. So I think it's definitely worth getting cleaned out. And I don't, John, did you say you got your meniscus completely removed, or did they just trim it up?
So they took half of it out of the right one, and now I'll still get fluid on that sometimes since, like, it has been aggravated a couple times, but it's been relatively good. And then it was my left knee right after that started locking. But probably 4 years ago, I was going to have surgery on my left knee, and it was delayed for, I think, 10 months of surgery. So the whole time I was doing like step-ups on a bench with weight and doing band work and this and that, and I went back for surgery, and I never ever had it. And now here I am, like 4 or 5 years later, and that needs
Canada
locking now, right? But I don't know, man. Like, if I can spend 4 months rehabbing and get back on the mats, like the way my leg atrophied and stuff after the surgery on my right one, that in itself was horrible to me. Like, I got fucking little kicking legs to begin with, bro. So when that muscle fell off, I was like walking around on a wrist. Like, it was horrible.
Someone out there needs to make an animated graphic.
I can't afford to fucking lose anything, bro. So I don't know. It's tough, but I'm at the point again now where I'm like, I might just have to have this one cleaned for it to stop locking. Because even when I'm like, oh shit, it hasn't locked for like 4 or 5 days, then it'll lock again. But it doesn't take. It's not like I can usually get it back out in like a minute.
I feel really lucky. I before my last MMA fight, or the last MMA fight I was supposed to have, I was supposed to fight this May 9th, or March 9th. I'm sorry, but or maybe it was May 9th. I don't remember. But last year I had a fight for Cage Wars. I was going to defend my title, and or it's an AME thing, defend the title. Not that that's much anything, but
still they win.
But I ended up tearing my meniscus, a partial tear, like a week and a half out. Or actually, no, I think it was about a week out. When I first started cutting weight, and luckily it didn't flip, and I didn't need the surgery or anything like that, or removed. But that was pretty tough.
Did you?
That was pretty tough. That was a pretty tough recovery. I felt, it's funny you said that, Matt, because I felt like I was getting better, and I was like, okay. I was like 3-4 weeks in. I was like, it was like a partial tear. All my doctor friends and stuff that I trained with and everything were like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. You do your PT and stuff. 4 weeks, 6 weeks, or whatever, you should be all right. And it was a few weeks. Man. Like, these are. I think it was a little worse than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just kind of trying to.
I tried that, man. I tried that for a year on my right knee. I'd be like off the mats for 2 or 3 months, and it would be great, and then it would be like it would blow right up, like huge, like full of fluid, and that kept happening over and over.
Yep, out of nowhere, I ended up like just a few weeks later, it ended up blowing back up, and I had to take a couple months off.
Damn.
Yeah, it ended up sucking, but I didn't need the surgery, or I think. I didn't really. I was kind of scared to go in and follow up on it, to be honest.
I'm just gonna go do jujitsu and heel hooks, but not the doctor.
It'll go away. It'll go.
I love that, man. I'm the same way.
And everything, and I did what I was supposed to do, though. I healed it up the best that I could, I guess. It's gonna be one of those aggravating things, so I have it taken care of, I'd imagine.
Well, there's nobody in our sport, man. Like, again, everybody here. Sam, like for sure, Kent, Matt, and John have been doing it way longer than us because they're all black belts, obviously. And I'm 39. These guys are in their 30s. Like we're all, anybody in this sport is beat up, period. Like, again, Kent, Matt, John, I don't know about you, Sam. I know you teach a lot, but I'm not sure. Like these guys all own clubs. They're teaching crazy amount of classes per week and doing other shit too, right? And it's hard, man. It's not an easy thing, dude. I
think I took way too many injuries when I was younger, and being small, going against big guys, and I'd always just fight to the death if I had to. So I took tons of injuries just being outweighed by 50, 60 pounds. So like all my guys now, my white belts and everybody else, I'm like, listen, man, it ain't fucking worth it. If he's pulling on your head or whatever, just get out. Like I've just had my head almost ripped off because I didn't want to tap, and it's not worth it.
I feel that, man. I'm smaller than everybody, so I walk around now. I walk around at about 145, but
same.
6 months ago, I was walking around at 128, 130 for the longest.
Damn,
time. And that was just till like probably 6-8 months ago. But even still, even at 145, everybody I roll with is bigger than me. Everyone.
Yeah.
I have one training partner that's the same size as me, and everybody else is huge compared to me.
I got a couple 12-year-olds that are my size that I train with.
They're blow-up dolls for Christmas.
Oh man, I've got some kids that, like we were talking about earlier, that I've been training since they were 4 and 5, and now they're like 12, 13, 14, and I've got about 15, 20 pounds on them in old man strength, and that's what's keeping me alive at this point.
But that's cool though, because like at the end of the day, like, I look back at it now, and I think about like my hockey, and I was like, I probably could have did a little bit better in hockey if my coaching was better, but it wasn't. And that's just the card you're dealt with. But you look like you guys who are all coaches can look back at that down the line and be like, oh man, I was a really instrumental part of that person's adolescence, because that's when the part that they're gaining life skills, not when they're like in 20, sure, but when they're teens and kids, man, they're going to remember you guys forever.
Yeah, they're very impressionable. It's important. Try to act like, be a good example and watch my mouth when I'm around the kids and all this and that. And you know what I mean? Like try not to say anything stupid. And
do you like my tattoo?
Of course. Well, that's just it. Like I got tattoos, but I mean, it's nothing to do with who I am. I'm just a fan of art, right? Yeah. And I've had when I was working in research, I remember me and Pat Bazinet one time were working up in the waiting room of our office, and some lady just started going on about my tattoos from across the room. She was about 100 years old. Look at the tattoos on him. It's disgusting. And this and that. And the other thing, I had my dress shirt rolled up because I was doing something that was warm. And you get that every now and then. But I kind of like it because if people meet me and they see what I'm really like, then, I'm not a criminal. I don't, I'm not doing anything
foolish. Coughing uncontrollably.
Yeah, they wouldn't have given a shit back then. This years ago. Guess he smokes too, the piece of shit.
So what are you guys doing out there, Matt? Or, like I know, like Ken and I've had a couple conversations. I've had conversations with other club owners here too. John and I speak about it every single day. Mm-hmm. Are you guys getting to the point where you're just like, I'm like,
I want to know what you guys.
I want to get open. I want to roll. Like I know Ken. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Speaking of which, I wanted to bring that up. This is a new drop from Supernatural Survival here. That's a good plug. I love that, man.
That's hilarious, dude. Great
true.
shirt.
Yeah.
Great
Well,
shirt.
without
I
that-
sold out of the first batch of them within like fucking 5 hours. I had to order a second batch in.
Nice.
That's
Yeah, those are
amazing.
sick, dude.
Yeah, it was pretty
Let's see
crazy.
it again.
So I'm
It
not
was a
trading.
joke at first because fucking, you're always telling your significant other it's not a
Nice.
hickey.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like
love that.
they don't want you to go train. It's
Yeah.
got to be secretive. It's like I swear I'm going to drink with at the bar, or I swear I'm going to my girlfriend's.
Yeah, man.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, with the close down and everything, I actually just announced on social today we'll be reopening July 1st. We're not gonna, because a lot of the parents are quite protective. Obviously, it makes total sense. They're just not ready to put their kids back in yet. So what we've been doing during the lockdown is I've just been doing online streams for the kids, and I've kind of taken that time to. I know we can't do live sparring, obviously, when it's an online class. But what you can do is you can shift your focus to focusing on solo movements and drills, and giving them that time to focus on controlling themselves. And, a lot of them have really made great improvements in movements like inverting and all types of trickier, more advanced movements. So I've really emphasized that. And then the other half of the class is usually a theoretical portion where we discuss, like you guys were mentioning, life lessons. So for example, we talked this week about peer pressure, champion mindset and authority and things like that. So it's like more life lesson based and more solo drill based until we get back into class. The adults, I paused everyone's contract just because, well, A, I have pretty cheap rent, so I could afford it. And B, I just didn't feel like I wanted to, I didn't want to keep charging for a service I couldn't provide. And I didn't think that adults would want to do online classes because it's just, they want to go in there and roll, right? So,
it's no interest to me at all.
My guys are chomping at the bit, man, the adults, but I put everything on hold and I haven't done much. Like we did a bunch, me and a couple of the instructors did a couple hours of techniques first when we shut down, and then after that we were like, oh, we can't even do that anymore. So then it went to like lockdown. So we shut everything off. And
but now it's like,
I don't know.
Sorry, but now it's like with the numbers dropping and everything. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I kind of thought the whole thing was questionable from the beginning, and now it's even becoming more obvious that it was not as dangerous. That plus with what's going on right now around the world, especially in Western countries with the riots and the looting, the protesting, I mean, and seeing all the people together, it's like, well, I guess, are we really being strict anymore? Like,
but wasn't there was a protest in Florida the other day, and then 4,000 new cases the next day or something like that? Didn't that happen last week or this weekend?
I think this past week in New York.
Yeah.
We had 5,000 person protests, or like 4,000 person protests, or something like that.
And was there cases from it?
Right in my town, like in Syracuse. So I'm like, awesome.
Yeah. And they don't
death toll 1.
And don't kid anybody. Like, we're not trying to mock anybody that's saying these protests aren't valid. These protests are 100% valid.
Oh, of course.
We're trying, but at the end of the day, like, we can't do any goddamn jujitsu, but
Yeah, I'm not saying anything bad. I obviously, don't like. I'm not saying anything bad about all that, but
if you've got 5,000 people right here together, we're having a protest at the gym this Saturday, guys. It's going to be like 30 of us. We're all going to be wearing heavy pajamas. Yeah,
and
I saw Lee Mean make that post. He's like, "There's going to be a protest at the gym, gi and no gi," which is good. But it's like, I'm not saying I am rolling, or I'm not saying I'm not rolling, but something my dad always taught me was it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. So,
I don't think you're
my dad taught me that same thing.
Well, man, how do they, like, Kent? This is your place of business.
Yeah, man.
Like, so can they, like, if you go in there and the door's locked, can they knock the door down? Like this?
See, I don't know. I don't know, and it's
the way
it's super frustrating. Like what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna have locked door, and we're all just gonna like skip rope and like do solo drills and fucking whatever. Especially now, World Health Organization came out today and said that unless people are showing symptoms, there's no possibility or very rare possibility of transmission. So all you got to do is just ask, "Hey, motherfucker, are you coughing? No? All right, come on in. Let's fucking hump."
Yeah.
I'm done with this shit, man.
It's
like,
true.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be
Nothing like a good hump to motivate you to fight back.
You know what I mean, right? I'm ready to hump every motherfucking student I got. I'll do it right now.
That's why Drake never stops moving.
That's a good soundbite right there. We'll have to edit that out for you.
Fuck yeah, buddy. Fuck yeah.
Oh shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's true though, man. You're right. Like it's in again, like look at Dana. Like people can shit on him all he's like, but at the end of the day, he's the only one with balls doing it. And we're in the fight business. Like we're in martial arts. We're not like recreational soccer for 11-year-olds. This is things are edgy. Things are a little bit different. People are gritty in our sport, and they want to get back at it, man. Like everybody's been through this game. Everybody's trained with people that have ringworm or whatever. We've all been through this shit before. No, I'm not trying to make light of it, but like, let's get back at it.
There's worse.
The only people that should have been quarantined were the sick and the old. Like right off the beginning, that's all they.
Maybe we should make light of it. I don't know.
Sam, you were going to add something about New York there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, quick too on what he said. But the problem is we just don't fucking know anything about it. We don't know shit about it.
Yeah.
So we could talk about it all we want. And
shit,
like, and all we know, we don't really know what the fuck's going on. You know,
none
of us. Even the experts don't even know what the fuck is going on. So,
yeah.
All just speculation and shit right now. Honestly, much they think they have everything nailed down, they've been proven wrong in every step of the way, and it's frustrating.
Man,
super frustrating for all of us. So, but
we're putting a ton of work in this week, and Jesus, it's going to be over $1,000 just to get the doors open with the new restrictions. Like I've got my staff coming back to my fitness gym tomorrow to just move a bunch of equipment into storage so we can space everything out. We've got a 12,000 square foot facility, and we can have 50 people in at a time, and they've all got to be spaced out 6 feet apart. But then I go down to my martial arts facility, we have like 1,000 square feet of mats. So we could have 4 people not touching each other or 5 people not touching each other based on the requirements. So I'm going to give that one a couple more weeks. And then I think we're going to this is what I've been thinking. I haven't put anything out there, but I'm thinking,
don't say it on TV.
Here's what I'm thinking. Maybe the way we're going to go. Small bubble training partners. So maybe you've got your 3 or 4 guys you're always with. I'll have my ukes that I always use when I'm teaching, and I'd be doing my rolls with them if I can get back to rolling here soon. And then I don't know about masks, but masks might be a thing we do, and you just have to like be mindful of that. And if someone wants to bitch and moan about that, well, fucking the amount of camps I did with a training gas mask on, they can lick my nuts if they find it hard to breathe through.
So he's going to hump his students, and your students can lick their nuts.
Yeah, right.
It's a good start to get
you're getting it. But no, I think I don't know if we're gonna have to do masks, but we might have to do like small classes that are booked, so we don't end up with more than 10 or 15 people.
Like they're reopening bars, man. You telling me drunk motherfuckers are gonna stay away from each other? Anybody think that's really gonna happen?
The whole time.
Right. So here
Walmart don't give a fuck.
All the bars and shit are opening around here. This is like a hot spot, essentially like in New York City, right? I live in upstate. I live like 3.5-4 hours, 4 or so hours.
Syracuse, right?
City, right? Yeah, so I'm up in Syracuse, up in central New York, right? Upstate. It's literally a different world. Literally.
Yeah.
So it's like a hot spot down there, right? It's like one of the worst places in the entire country. I believe for a while it was the worst place in the entire country. Up here where I am, almost nothing. Still, everything is shut down completely.
Same here, man. There's nothing going on here except for one nursing home, and we're all shut down. Well, we're just getting back.
Restrictions and everything, and he has to. I get it because it was so crazy, and there's so many people with public transportation and everything. It's just a different case, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not for us up here. It's life is stopping up here, and we're fucked. We get so fucked. The owner of the gym, luckily. Tai Kai. Now you might most people might not know about it, but it's not a big competitive gym. The people that were like Ken Cronenberg is the founder of Tai Chi. He was an old school competitor. He's like an OG. One of the
Nice.
if you look up his shit, like he had like the first super fight ever at the first Naga, like the first
Nice.
Naga super fight ever, against I think a Ricardo Almeida black belt or something like that, or one of his training partners, or Renzo Gracie black belt. But he's like an old school guy and stuff, but it's more of a family gym. It's more family oriented and stuff. So isn't quite as much competition and everything. It's not super super competitive. We don't have a whole bunch of people you'll hear about coming out, but there's like 500 members there.
Wow.
So
Wow.
literally is just like he's like, I'll add on 3 months at the end of your membership. You know, people, if you have special situations and stuff, obviously we can talk. But I'm closing the doors completely until they're allowing us to open.
Yeah.
Not any chances, you know what I mean? He's fortunate enough to be in that situation. But for all of us, like we're fucked, man. I literally we have a garage in Phoenix that we essentially created a gym. We made wall pads around. It's probably 500 square feet, 400 square feet of mat, maybe 300 square feet of mat. Probably more like, and wall mats and shit all wrapped all the way around. It's a fucking garage. It's a sauna, and we just have. I'm not gonna lie. We all.
You say in Phoenix?
At least once or twice a day. I've been teaching. I've been trying my best to keep teaching privates consistently to the people that want to take the chance and come out. I don't give a fuck. And all my friends, I train with 150 cops, and they all say the same thing. We don't want to shut down the businesses of the people that we spend our time. These are our people, you know. Nobody wants these places to get shut down.
Yeah.
So so it's I'm not worried. You know, I'm not worried. I'm still teaching privates on the side and stuff out of this garage, and I'm super open about it. I'm not hiding anything. We train every single day. I constantly invite people. I say the same thing to everybody. I'm not going to be an asshole and act like this shit's not going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say the same thing to everybody. Don't be if you come over, it's on you. You're the one that's responsible. Make sure you're not a person that's like around people that are like immunocompromised or whatever, the people that are extra compromised to this disease, right?
Yeah.
Or virus rather. Or around like a bunch of elderly people.
Sure.
So if you're like a nurse or like a first responder or something like that, we're good. We don't want that shit to come in. I train privately with a couple cops just because what are they doing? You know what I mean? Like, if anybody, you know, they're getting fucked the worst because now they can't take care of their body.
Man.
Ready to go for the real bad situation.
Yeah. We have a ton of correctional officers.
But we have essentially I have a house here in Syracuse, but I stayed for the first bit of the quarantine at the Fighter House, which is Ultimate Athletics, another gym I train at, the gym that I fight MMA out of, where the competitors are and such that I train with. We have we just quarantined together. There's already 4 fighters that live there. I moved in with a couple of other ones that moved in there.
Yeah.
And we just trained twice a day, almost every single day. And we didn't leave the house for like a month straight, 2 months straight until, everybody just kind of started. Now it's like almost back to normal around here. Everybody's acting like nothing's going on. Which
Same here.
Businesses are like falling apart. They have no choice. You know, like fuck it, I'd rather fucking die than lose everything I've worked my whole life for. And it's obviously very.
Well, we have an announcement too. Fight League Atlantic is shutting down. No, just joking.
I was like, oh, that's grim.
That took a fucking turn.
It's true though, man.
You know what? Done.
This is just close the whole stream. Just we quit, you know. And it's true though, man. Like this bullshit has caused a lot of it. Like I work in travel. I've said it 100 times. Like travel is a long time before it's going to come back. But we're moving forward with this, man. Like if we have to put on events with no spectators, no problem. If we have to put on just grappling events, no problem. Whatever it is, we're moving forward, man. And
just hold it in a fucking bar. We can all go to bars, right?
Yeah,
right, buddy.
I had this argument today, Kent, because to me, like even about like in a grocery store. So I don't understand it. So I walk through all the grocery store. I can touch shit, pick it up, put it back down. I can look over at the guy getting the grapes, whatever, keep 6 feet, sometimes whatever. You're passing by people. No one's looking at the floor. I get to the register, all of a sudden the man or woman is in this goddamn bubble.
Yeah.
What? I don't understand. Like if you're exposed to one person, what's the like? You're trying to limit it, but at the end of the day, you're still.
Dude, I was at the bank.
I don't mean to complain about it. Like I couldn't do a better job myself. I really couldn't.
It's all fucking stupid.
But
it is.
Weird times,
Yeah,
weird times
you should
like,
complain. Let's hear it.
Weird times like this, the weirdness really comes out too, man. Like,
Yeah.
it really fucking stands out with people. I'm walking through the store. I'm driving down the road the other day, and a guy in a truck whips around the corner. He's got a Jason mask on in his truck. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what other thing?
It's the purge.
Yeah.
I've never fucking seen that on Halloween, for Christ's sake. Like, what other time do you ever see that?
yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that's a scary thing, man. Like, well, we got to wrap her up here, boys. I don't want to hold. I know everybody's got to wrap it up here, and we've been an hour, and I don't want to.
Garden doing house work and shit.
Yeah. Well, before we do wrap it up, but just one kind of final question for you guys. Obviously, one thing that we like Fight League Atlantic, John and I and Kent and I have spoke a lot about this too, and my coach Jared and Jason are big proponents about this. Sam, you and I spoke about it. Kwan, you and I have spoke about it and hung out and working together. It's legit, I think, the most important thing that anybody can do, not just in business, not just now, not just in martial arts, but what's advice you guys can give to somebody about that? Not just sharing a post, not just whatever. Like, how can, like, your simple line, Ken, buy my shit. That's a way to support. Like, give people advice, guys. Like
business owners, people that are thinking about owning a business.
Yeah.
Stay away from anything on paper. Like I've made signs and flyers. Literally nothing comes back. It's all online. Everyone's looking. Everyone's on one of these, right? That's all they do is just this. Nobody's looking at signs. And I think building a business from a place of like ethics and passion and authenticity is much better than a lot of these mass marketing programs that just get leads in the door. Like I'd rather take one quality lead that I know I can work on and they love jiu-jitsu than 10 random leads. So it takes time, and when you're building your business, as a lot of you guys know, nothing comes fast, but putting the jiu-jitsu or putting your passion before the money, I think, is kind of how you build a real grassroots business that is sustainable.
I second passion for sure. Like I think that's one thing with me. Like I'm definitely not the best. I'm probably not the best jiu-jitsu. Well, no, you know what? I'd say all four of you guys will probably fucking tap me out.
No, I don't know about that.
I'm absolutely in love with jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And everybody that watches my videos, you can tell, like, dude, sometimes when I'm teaching these techniques, like I'm excited telling you about this detail that I just watched this guy do. Like I just fucking love jiu-jitsu. Yeah. So when people watch my videos, they can genuinely see like this motherfucker is obsessed with jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And then I message if you message me, I respond, right? So customer service for me is huge. Like I'll talk to everybody. Yeah. And when I make that post, like, hey, message me anytime, I'll get like 500 messages. I'll answer every fucking one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is.
I still got to get my hands on some of your shit, man.
Hey, dude. I got it waiting for you.
Yeah, I got to just make the order. I'm busy buying other dumb shit for my house.
Are you getting more of those shirts, Kent? Are you getting more of those shirts in?
Yeah, I stocked back up. I got a full order in yesterday, so it's good.
There you go, folks. Check it out. It's supernaturalsurvivalgear.com. Get out there and support.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get one of those.
Things, dude, I help people grow their social media because I'm a social media whore, right? I own Heel Hook Happiness, Don't Hit You Jit, Supernatural Survival Gear, then mine. So that's like, I think 80,000 or 90,000 followers right there. So when people wear my gear, I share all their instructional videos. I share all their posts. I story share. Because like we were talking about earlier, if I can help you guys get 500 followers, one of those might be a promoter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Especially where you guys are competitors, I can help you guys see more. Well, like some people it works, some people it doesn't, but it comes down to how much you put out that allows me to share your shit.
Yeah.
So like I've had some guys, they constantly put out videos, so I share all their videos, and they're getting a good following, right?
Yeah. Well, nothing like anything, man. Hard work.
Yep.
You know, so much of the game.
Yeah, I got to agree with Matt and Kent though. Like you guys, if it's not something that you're passionate about, you're wasting your time. Like I've left jobs and industries that I just wasn't happy with, man, and it was torture going to work every day. So if you're not doing it because you love it and you're not doing it because you see the value in what you're doing, move on, man, or start making steps to move on, because you can't. It's not sustainable, and you're not going to be able to put yourself into it the way you should.
And don't let the money lock you in. Like I was
Hell
doing
yeah.
$250,000 a
Yeah,
year
man.
as a welding inspector, and I left. I let all my tickets expire, and I moved home. I just wasn't happy. It wasn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
the
working,
thing.
man.
I had gotten a job as a electrical engineer architect at a really good place. This is a year. Took about a year off of a training after my fifth MMA fight, I think it was, or fourth MMA fight, and I was like, all right, I just kind of got away from it, I guess, for a year. But regardless, I took a good job, good comfortable job, 401k, insurance and stuff. It felt awesome, you know. I got a kid and stuff, so I thought I was making the right decisions. A year into it, I was just like the most miserable human ever. In my life, man, and that's when
It's
I
not
came.
worth it, man.
Yeah,
No,
and
it isn't.
started like competing jiu-jitsu a lot, and had like more GGL events and stuff. Made like did like a whole thing, you know. Made like my way back into like the scene and everything, and it was the best decision I ever made. And one thing I've seen with other people as well, the trend, if you just have like the consistency and the passion really is it. You're absolutely right. If you have passion, especially with this kind of thing, as long as you don't have like fucking terrible habits, like some awful terrible life habit, or like
meth. Was meth a bad one?
Fuck, you mean I gotta stop that?
Kent, you're way too healthy looking for meth.
That's like destroying.
This is just stress, man.
Right. I feel like it's kind of a surefire plan for you, as long as you're consistent with your shit, right? As long as you don't try to rush anything.
Yeah, you still got to work hard and be patient.
Yeah, man, have your patience. Start slow. Don't, the turtle wins the race in this game, because it's not a game of big monetary gains. You know what I mean? And you have to build from a small thing up. Otherwise, you're gonna be pissed off at the decisions you make.
Sure. Yeah. That's
Sam,
it, man.
Like
starting there down that road,
Yeah, like what you said about starting small. That's such good advice, because like I started. Yeah, I started by renting space in a Taekwondo gym, and we were honestly paying too much money for what we were getting. And then I had to move to another space, almost signed and locked in with him, but then it was too far away. So I got a smaller space that I split with someone else. Then finally he moved out, and I was able to double up my mat space. And it was a process that took probably 3 or 4 years. But because I did that, I was able to not fall into debt at all. Yeah. And the fact that I have the place I'm at now, with this whole COVID thing, if I was at a bigger place, I could have gone bankrupt probably. So, and nobody knows when the lockdown happened, how long that was going to go on for. So I look at my place now, I'm like, thank God I started small and didn't try and, put all my chips into everything so fast. Because unforeseen shit happens as a business owner, and you never know at first if it's going to be successful or not. So yeah, starting small is definitely great advice, I think, for anyone with a business.
Absolutely. And when I quit that electrical engineering job, I set a 5-year plan for myself. I said to myself, 150%. Listen, at the end of this 5 years, no matter where I am in competition, all the goals I have in competition and such. Regardless, I will own a school. I will open a school. I'll be able to teach my classes, and my competition will be cut in half, no matter what. Regardless, I still have this in mind, and I knew that I was going to build up to that in the meantime too. Until I got there, and in the meantime, I have bought almost 1,000 square feet of brand new zebra mats I have in my basement that don't get used for anything else. They're just waiting.
Nice.
Waiting for my school. I'm literally building. I got my speakers, all the little things that you don't think about. I've been building up this whole time over these years, and I will have zero overhead when I open up. And I'm literally piecing together like the puzzle mats, even buying them package by package over time, making sure I'm not overreaching or screwing myself. That way, when I open up, I have no stress, no crazy overhead to meet, nothing.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just my rent.
Yeah.
My rent and my
Beautiful.
okay, I'm not paying
Yeah.
for the house. I'm running everything myself in the beginning.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? That's the fucking way to do it. Is to start,
Yeah.
Start small like that. And I think that no matter what, by the time I'm done with my 5-year plan, I'll be good to go, and I don't have like the crazy stress that a lot of people have to deal with. Sure, they can pay the bills every single month, and I'll still be able to focus on other things too. So
Good for you, man. I like hearing that. Yeah, it's true. That's a lot of really, really good sound advice, folks. If anybody's listening at home, just before we get out of here, folks, I just want to thank these guys for joining us up here on the left. For anybody's at home here, you can see Matt Kwan up here on the left, the owner of On Guard Jiu-Jitsu from out here in British Columbia. Down below him, you have Kent Peters, the owner and black belt from Zombieproof Jiu-Jitsu. And then to his right, you have, of course, Sam Mchale. Am I pronouncing that right? Sam Mchale?
Dude, I've heard 100 different ways to pronounce it.
Mchale.
It doesn't even matter to me anymore. I don't even care.
All right.
Here we go.
Sammy Mchale.
Micale is what it's supposed to be, I guess. Mchale.
Okay, there you go. Well, there you go. Sam Mchale from obviously a purple belt down in upstate New York and Syracuse. And, of course, my business partner, the man in the middle, sitting in the forest, doing nothing as usual.
That's my jam.
I love that backdrop, buddy. I love it. But
yeah, man.
Where can everybody find you guys? Starting with Matt online. If they're in the Vancouver area and they want to, or in the British Columbia and they're looking for some high level training, or they just want advice, they want to listen to your podcast. Where can they find you? And then down to Kent and Sam.
Yeah, so I'm on all social media except for Twitter because it's a shithole. I got BJJ Mental Models, which is my podcast with my brother Steve.
Nice.
I'm on Instagram, Facebook, as little as possible, but I am there. And yeah, my gym's On Guard Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We're in Pitt, Meadows, which is about 40 minutes outside of downtown Vancouver in British Columbia. And, we're very open and welcoming to guests. I love having guys drop in and train. So yeah, if you're ever in the area, if you're ever in BC, shoot me a message and let's get some training.
Awesome. There you have it, folks.
I mean, sorry. Let's get some solo drills going.
Fucking hickeys everywhere. There will be no.
I'm getting my shirt right now, Kent. I'm looking at it right now. I'm totally going to order that.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us. There you have it, folks. Matt Kwan. We'll see you next time, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
What about you, Kent? Where can everybody find you on social media? That's not a hard one, I don't think.
Get a pen and paper out.
Well, for me, Instagram, I barely even open Facebook. I don't really like Facebook. And yeah, Twitter can go fuck itself too. But Instagram, the Kent Peters and Zombieproof BJJ. And yeah, I'm in Cape Breton. So come visit the island when, I don't know, whenever the fuck we're allowed. Fuck this shit.
You guys haven't had COVID for like 2 months.
Dude, I haven't met anybody who has it. I don't know anybody who knows anybody who has it. Like we're ready to hump each other and give each other hickeys and shit. So
one last shot of the shirt before we say goodbye. There you have it, folks. Get over to supernaturalsurvivalgear.com and buy one of those t-shirts and give Kent a hello. Buy his shit. See you, buddy.
Later, guys.
Later,
bro.
And finally, the man from upstate New York. He came late. He's coming late. He's leaving late. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Sam Mchale.
I appreciate you guys, man. Real quick, if people do want to come out and train, I'm available for private lessons if you're ever in upstate New York. I did say there's no competitors out of our gym, but we do have the Rise Heavyweight Champion, Ed Braisley, and
nice.
And the veteran BJJ Fanatics, black belt tourney veteran, and Bellator MMA veteran, Mike Musatelli out of our gym too. We have plenty of people. Granted, they're all heavyweights, big boys. But we have plenty of people to train with too. Come out and get some work in. Do line privates and everything too. So, and also looking to make my pro debut soon. Really love to do it on Fight League. So,
hell yeah.
Fingers crossed, man. You never know what's going to happen. Hopefully, we can pull something like that off, dude.
Another 125er that wants to.
That's it. That's it. We got a couple up here, buddy.
We do.
Right, thanks so much for joining us. Sam Mchale. See you, buddy.
Much, guys.
Good to meet you, man.
All right, man. There you go, John. Another good show, man. Episode 6. I was going to say 39. Fuck.
69 or 70? 69, right?
69 or episode 69.
Whoa.
Can't
Today
talk.
June 9th.
Is it?
6'9", 6'9".
You know what? June 9th. So 69, that legit. I was thinking about this. I don't know when I went in quarantine, but it was probably like the third week or so of March, like give or take.
18th of March for me.
Yeah. So if you think about that, like I don't know how many days that is from between then and now. And that's when we started the podcast. We've done 69 episodes. It's legit a lot. It's been like every night almost. So
yeah,
it's become my new job.
It's only been about 80 days. Yeah, right. Yeah. You're building, bro. Like we were just talking about, right? Start small. If you like doing it, keep doing it.
It's funny. I said to Chelsea earlier today, I said, you know what? I don't know anybody in martial arts longer than me who's never made money.
who's put as much professional work into martial arts?
No question, man. No question about it.
Man.
But that's the beauty of this sport, dude. Like again, we look back at our last event. You know, we came out of that. We didn't make a lot.
We would have made money if we had 2 more shows this year, and that was always our plan. We weren't looking to make money off our first or second show. We need to buy all our shit, get established, get our name out there, prove that we could do it, and then go. So we'll be back, man. And same plan, like we were saying today when we were chatting on the phone. Like I wanted to be a promoter for so long, and then we finally fucking did it. Mm-hmm. And then it was instantly taken away. So we got to get it back.
It was like the worst one night stand ever. Yeah. Not that I know what that is like, Chelsea, but yeah.
Our show would have been like 2 weeks ago.
May 30th was the night of the show. Mm-hmm. Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but couldn't because of COVID.
That's right.
On to the next.
The invisible enemy.
I saw Fight Night Promotions out west. They announced that they're going to do an event today. I don't know when they're going to do it, but they're looking for fighters. So it'd be interesting, man. I've heard BFL out in Vancouver. They were saying they're going to – I saw I think his name's Sonny, maybe, the promoter out there. He said he was looking at doing some events. So
it'd be interesting to talk to maybe the Rec or, a couple other venues. And because, I mean – what are the boys saying at the Rec? Like, are they not looking to have people in there this year, next year? I mean, it's a big facility. Like after our event was canceled. I mean, what was the big skateboard show they had going in there? Oh my goodness,
Jackalope, yeah.
Jackalope, like Jackalope fell through. Like that was they put a lot into that, right? So
the way I look at it, John, is because it's frustrating because for them as a venue, now they're like, okay, we lost on all that revenue for the year. So obviously, just justifiably, the price are going to go up a little bit. But as a as a person like us, as a person coming in to that, we got
to take a higher risk. We don't know if we're going to sell 500 seats next time.
Oh, you can't. What's more risky about it is if you can only have half the venue, why are you paying twice the price? Right. So again,
it's all speculation at this point.
Oh yeah, of course, total speculation, right? But it's interesting. I also always think about that as a town too. Like, like we went into the town of Truro. That's where I look at. Like, town of Truro was good to us in some ways for sponsors. Like, shout out to some good sponsors. But also, you look at what we gave that town in February. Easily upwards probably of ourselves, probably $20,000. I don't know. I'm just ballparking ourselves what we put into that town. Not even a letter. I messaged that town multiple times to talk to them. No one wrote back. No, whatever, right? So as a small town, those are the kind of things that, like, I justify. I look back and I'm like, why should I go and give that town money again when they don't give a shit? But if Tony Hawk comes in town or whatever, or someone who's playing a fiddle or whatever, they'll justifiably support that, right? So that's what I kind of I don't know how we got.
Who's running the town and where's the bias, right? Like I've talked about, I don't know if I talked about it on the show, but the bias just from going to the hospital with injuries from fighting. It just depends who's there, man. If it's some old dickhead running the town, who wants all the stores to be closed down on Sundays still and hates violence, then they're going to look at our sport and be like, just because all these people want to challenge themselves in the highest possible way, mentally and physically, they're pieces of shit. So we're not supporting it, but they just don't understand it is what it is.
Sure, but then
we're ignorant people if that's the case.
Their tax dollars. Rah, rah, rah.
Yeah. And that may not be the case at all. Maybe it went to spam or whatever. And but there's a good chance that's not their cup of tea, and I don't know, man. Like some people just, it is what it is. You're not going to hear me like I'm not into, I don't know, baseball, but I don't go around, like I'm all for it.
If the under 15 Atlantic Championships of baseball came to New Minas,
it would be a thing.
You would know about it
Mm-hmm.
because 250 hotel rooms are being booked. Meals are being eaten. Gas is being pumped. Residual income is being spent in that town. That's how communities survive.
Yeah.
That's where I come. That's why I didn't do events in Pictou anymore.
It's because you're looking at the whole picture, man.
Sure, but at the end of the day, when I give the DeCoste Center a small little venue, $10,000 in 1 year, and you don't even get a thank you back or help, why continue to go back and support those people, right? Support people that want to work. And we're not taking anything away from the Rath Eastlink Center because the Rath Eastlink Center killed it. Like, don't get us wrong here. Matt and Mike and all the other staff went above and beyond and absolutely killed it. It was a beautiful venue, and we'll most likely be back there again. So we're just spitballing here, talking gibberish pretty much.
Oh, yeah, brother. But, hey, that's it, though. You got to look at all these parts of the machine, right? It all matters. And I mean, I see us getting to the point where we should be enough for a town to be like, all right, let's talk to these guys. Let's make sure this happens here because we don't want to lose out on this revenue or having these extra, few thousand people in our town for the weekend.
No question. Yeah.
It'll happen, man. It'll come.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really just kind of looking forward to operating and putting the cage up, not in the winter and shit too. Like, I'm not
doing that again.
Never. The winter was tough, man. That was just another wrench in the whole thing.
I love when we showed up to put the cage up and we couldn't even get the trailer off your truck. It was like freezing rain.
Oh man, out in the parking lot, it was like blowing blizzard. It was horrible.
All right, man, let's wrap it up here. Let's
do it. People see my children before they're asleep.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to John's children, Henry
and Thomas.
I love you, boys. Keep being active. Keep being yourselves. Keep being good boys. All right, John. We'll see you tomorrow night. Episode 70 is back. Episode 69 is a wrap. As always, thanks to our sponsors at Maritime Madness, Privateer Harley Davidson, BC Kimonos, Conway Customs, Datsu Sara, Motive Fitness, and whoever else wants to send us some money. Thank you, everybody. Lots of love. We'll see you tomorrow, John. Keep it real. If you can be kind, be kind. I don't know. I screwed up. See you later.
You can be anything in this.
As always, thanks for tuning in, and thank you to our sponsors. We'll see you tomorrow.